Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. I want to welcome you in today. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about not being stuck or afraid to move your feet. I know I've done a podcast like this before, but I feel like people really need to hear it right now. So fear is something that is really just an illusion. Fear will tell us all kinds of things, like we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not pretty enough, we're not this, we're not that, you name it. Fear will tell you that. And what it does is fear just allows you to keep you stuck in your comfort zone, where you refuse to move out and break out and try anything new. A lot of people succumb to fear. I mean, fear it doesn't do anything good or positive for you. Yet so many of us hold on to it. Like, we want fear to be around us all the time because we think that it's keeping us safe, and it's really not. Fear will cause you to never start that dream business. Fear will cause you to never go out on a date. It will cause you to do all kinds of things because you just don't feel like you have what it takes. It will tell you all kinds of lies about yourself. And that's heartbreaking, honestly, because it's not true. It's just your ego. It's just fear telling you all of these awful things about yourself. And all that really does is it keeps you from making any kind of decision at all. Fear can show up in so many ways. It can show up as procrastination. You don't think that you are good enough or that you have enough information, so you don't move your feet. You just keep procrastinating, saying, I'll do that later, I'll do that later. And the reason that you'll do it later is because you don't want to deal with it now. You don't want to look at it. You don't want to move forward. And it's because you're afraid. You're afraid to. Perfectionism is another form of fear. People don't want to look like they aren't completely put together and perfect. And I've got news for you. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. So you having this expectation that you have to be perfect and you have to show up as someone who has it all put together is just fear holding you back. Because if you wait until you're perfect, it's never going to happen because you're never going to be perfect. Perfectionism, I don't know who came up with this, we have to be perfect. It's ridiculous. No one is perfect, okay? No one. And our flaws are not a bad thing. So telling yourself, well, I'll do it when I'm perfect at it, is ridiculous. Think about professional athletes. If athletes just said, well, if I don't win, then I'm just going to quit, we would never have anyone out there who win trophies because people would quit. Your first loss, you just quit. I mean, how many underdog stories do we see where people came from behind and then they win first place? Well, if they would have said, no, I have to wait until I'm the best at this, they would have quit before they ever had the chance to see that they could be the best at it. They would have never even gotten off the ground. And that's what's happening to so many people right now, and you don't even realize it. It's like you are not even moving anywhere because you're allowing fear to stop you. I'm reminded of whenever I first started my business, I was trying to build up a clientele and a client base. And I offered free sessions to people for liking and sharing my posts and that. And I was amazed that there were like 3 people who won a free Reiki session, and none of them claimed it. None of them came to get it. And I couldn't understand that. I'm like, it's free. It's going to help you. And then I realized, and at first I was like pretty offended, like, wow, I tried to give away a free session and somebody didn't even want it. And of course that was when I was first starting Reiki, so I thought, oh, maybe it's me. And since then, I've had so many people who pay me for Reiki sessions, and they're like, oh, it's so great. It was wonderful. And so I thought, okay, well, this is not about me. This is not about me. if you're offered something like that and you don't take someone up on it, there's something you're trying to avoid. And then it hit me that all of those people are afraid to really look at their inner selves. Because otherwise, if you weren't, you would jump at the chance to get a free session with someone, right? Of course you would. Who wouldn't jump at the chance to have someone perform healing on them? But if you're afraid of what's going to come up, if you don't want to look at what's going to come up, that's why they wouldn't jump at the chance, because they're afraid of looking at themselves, their true situation. And I feel bad because you'll never know the peace that comes from actually looking deep within and healing that stuff. Yeah, it can be painful. You know, I've had to look at my own life and things that have happened to me in my life, and it's painful. But I would not trade it for the world, because it's made me who I am today. And I used the pain and I made myself better from it, because I learned how to heal the pain, how to let go of the pain, and to transmute the pain into something beautiful, which is growth. And the healing gifts that I have, I never would have opened up to or known that I had them had I not gone through the pain. So there was purpose for my pain, and I feel that there's purpose in everyone's pain. But some people will never find the beauty in it because they insist only on looking at the shadows of it. And really, what the universe is saying is, if you will look at the shadow, heal the shadow, we'll bring out the sun again. And that really is what happens. Anyone who goes through that dark night of the soul, that's what I like to call it, and that's what it's called in a spiritual transformation, when everything that you've experienced in your life, it feels like just comes crashing down on you, and you realize that you have all of this pain and you don't know what to do with this pain. That is the dark night of the soul. It's like everything in your life feels difficult, heavy, painful. Painful is the only way I can describe it. You have to go through that. You have to go through that, because that is what is going to bring you through it and on the other side of it, where you've been healed, and where when you're on the other side of it, you're like, oh, look at all of that I came through. Look how strong I am. Look, now I can do this, this, and this. And there's so many people who are stuck in that dark night of the soul place, or just before it, because some people haven't even gotten there because they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to look at it. So if they ignore it, it's not there. Can I tell you that you're not going to be able to ignore it? The universe is going to keep throwing it in your face. It's going to be there because they want you to deal with it. They want you to heal it. And it's so funny because I see the different people in the different groups that I'm in. And there are people, you can tell kind of where they are in their stage of this spiritual enlightenment. And don't be offended, because we're all on different paths. You know, we get there at different times. But I can see that in the posts and things they put on Facebook. Like the people who are like, oh, my life is, you know, they're constantly complaining. You know that they're still, I don't even think they're in the dark night of the soul thing. I think they're right before it. They're just right before it. Because when you're in it is when it's like you turn into like a hermit. You just want to go within, and you don't even want to post things there. You want to be by yourself. And that's when you start seeking answers. That's when you start saying to yourself, there has to be more than this out there. This cannot be all there is. My life cannot be this miserable all the time. And that's when you say, I've got to heal this. I've got to deal with this. And that's when people start finding spiritual teachers, and they start finding things that can help them. That's when I found a spiritual boot camp, and I created my purposeful pilgrimage program to be very similar to that, in that if you're going through that place where you're in the dark night of the soul, it can help you to find direction again, to help you pull yourself out of the dark pit. Because that's what it feels like. It feels like an empty, dark pit. But you have to get through that in order to pull yourself up. in order to see the amazing and beautiful things that are on the other side of that. And I can't even tell you how amazing my life is right now and how beautiful it is and how much things have changed for me since I went through that. And I never would be where I am right now if I didn't go through that. And if I would have gotten to the dark place and stayed there, and there are people who do that too. When you're in this process, everyone reacts to it differently. So some people who get to that dark pit, they stay there. And you can see those people. It's like they know there's something more out there. And they're sort of on their spiritual path. And they know that there's a God. And they know that there's a whole team behind us. But they're stuck in that dark pit place. Because they refuse to do anything to change it. And for some people, it's like, well, I don't have the time. Or I don't have the money. Or I don't have the this. Or I don't have the that. And if that's you and that's how you feel, you're going to be stuck in that place. But the universe brings you to the people who can help you. They bring you to your teachers, to your soul family, who can help you get out of that place. But there's so many people that for some reason that I don't understand now. I probably would have understood it when I was in your place. But there are some people who just want to cling to the fear and stay stuck in that pit and say, okay, I'm going to improve my life some ways, but not always. They'll start like, I'm going to meditate or I'm going to do this. But then when it comes to really jumping in and doing the deep diving emotional work, they don't want to do it. So they stay stuck and they don't make any decision at all. They're just like, well, I'm going to add a meditation. And I mean, that's great to add meditation. It is. But if you truly want to see a breakthrough in your life and you want to see good things manifesting in your life, you have to go down to the pit and you have to deal with it and you have to heal it and you have to get through it to the other side. Because if you don't, you cannot manifest when you're stuck in this place of, I don't feel good about myself, life's unfair. It's like you're still playing the victim. Even though you know better, you're not doing better. You may know better, but you're not doing better. You're keeping the same behavior and then expecting things to change. And that's ridiculous. It's not going to happen. You can't keep thinking the same way and behaving the same way and expecting your life to change because it won't. It can't. If you want to see the things in your life manifest, you've got to stop being a victim, number one. That victim mentality, not going to work for you. You can't go to everybody else to solve your problems either. What you have to do is and this might take working with a spiritual teacher. I had to, and I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I chose to. But you have to learn how to heal and how to connect to your higher self so that you can trust yourself to make those decisions for your life. When you trust yourself, when you tap into your intuition, you know that you cannot make a wrong decision. So you won't sit there and not move your feet. But that's what so many people do. They're like, well, I hate my job, but I'm just going to sit here and pray I have a new one. What? No, it doesn't work that way. That's not how it works. In order for me to manifest a new job, I had to do things. I had to heal myself. I had to get myself in the energy where I was able to manifest that new job. I was able to say, look, this is what I want. I want to be happy in all areas of my life. And I'm willing to stop doing this. I'm stop playing the victim. I'm stop blaming others. I'm going to forgive others and forgive myself for the past. I'm going to actually look at my behaviors and try to change them. And I did. Because it wasn't like I just woke up and was like, I'm good now. That's not what happened. It was hard work. Okay, it was hard work. I had to look at myself and I had to see things about myself that I did not like. And I had to learn how to change those behaviors. Before when I would get mad at somebody, like someone did something that I did not like, I was I could be very passive aggressive and not say anything about it, but just be mad at that person in my head. And now I've learned I have to set healthy boundaries for myself, and I have to tell people when they do things that I don't like. I have to open my mouth and say something to them. I had to learn how to ask others for help, and I had to learn how to forgive. And I had to learn how to speak up for myself and speak my truth. I didn't speak my truth at all. At all. And I don't know how much more you can speak your truth than by creating your own podcast and doing Facebook Lives and putting yourself out there and saying, this is who I am. But that's what I did. And it was scary as hell. Totally scary at first. And what I have learned in my life is that whatever scares me is what I have to do. And if I were to say, I'll do this later, it won't happen. And if I were to say, I have to learn everything that I can about podcasting and then I'll do it, it wouldn't have happened. You see, if I had read everything I needed to read about podcasting, I would have overwhelmed myself and then said, I can't do this. So I didn't do that. I just jumped in head first. And what I've learned is that you can always course correct. There are things that I've learned in podcasting since I started that I didn't do right away, that now I do, and I didn't know about. So you can always learn as you go. But if you sit there and tell yourself you have to wait until you know it and you have all the answers, you're never going to do it. All you're doing is allowing the fear to convince you that you shouldn't do it. That's what you're doing. You're staying in your comfort zone, and you are talking yourself out of living your best life. And there are many ways that we do that. We do that when it comes to money. So if we want to take a course to improve our lives, but then we go, it costs money. Well, no duh. Of course it costs money. It costs money to work on yourself, to have someone who knows more than you do teach you. That costs money. If you take a college course, it costs money. But for some reason, like people will shell out the money for a college course. But when it comes to a course on spirituality, people are like, no, I don't think so. Why? Why is that? Is it because you're afraid that if you tell people you paid money to take this course, they're going to look at you like you're stupid? And I think for some people that is it. And to that I say it's no one's business what you buy and spend your money on or take a course on. If it's going to improve your life in every area, why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you do it? If you knew that taking a course in your professional field would earn you $1,000 raise or whatever, you know what I mean? If you knew that, because that's what happens in education when you add to your hours, okay? So you get your bachelor's and then you get your master's, that takes you up to another pay level. Then you get more hours on top of that and you're up to another pay level, which increases you by a couple thousand a year usually. Of course, people are like, of course I would do that. Of course I would spend $1,200 to make another $1,000 a year. Yes, that makes sense. But when you improve yourself spiritually and when you spend the money on yourself for your spiritual course, you're going to make that up too, because you're going to be learning how to manifest things. You're going to be learning how to make your life better, easier. And personally, I don't even think you can put a price on that. To me, paying the money for the classes that I took was the best thing I ever did, because it changed my life for the better. It changed what I do. It changed how I live. It changed the relationships in my life. They're better. I manifested a new job. I manifested this business. There's so many different things that I've manifested since then. And it would not have happened if I didn't say that I was worth the investment. So for those of you who are sitting there thinking, yeah, I should do this. Yes, I should do that. I should do that. But not doing anything. what are you doing? You're staying stuck. You're allowing fear to rule your life. And nothing is ever going to happen until you decide to stop doing that. And that's a tough one because we've been conditioned to allow fear to rule our lives. So when you work with me with coaching, that's one of the things we work on. How are we going to stop staying small? How are you going to start showing up in your life? How are you going to change your mindset so that we can start manifesting those things that you want to see? That's what we work on. If you take this course with Heather and I, not only are we going to be working on that, but we're also going to bring in the financial aspect. So if you're someone who's struggled with overcoming debt and finally figuring out your finances, that's what we're going to work on. And staying stuck and small, that's not you. God did not want you to come here and just stay in this little box. You're just stuck here. That's not why you came here. You didn't come here to be the caterpillar your whole life. You came here to transform and become the beautiful butterfly that you were meant to be. When you start working on yourself and you start changing yourself, I talked about this with a client earlier. We do a lot of energy work. It's shifting your energy because when your energy changes, because we are all about energy, everything changes. Everything changes. Do you know how many people say to me, "You have beautiful energy"? They see that before they see anything else. So when you go out there and you're putting out this energy of, "I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. Don't look at me." But you expect to attract clients, or you expect to attract a partner, or you expect to attract friends, or whatever it is you're wanting. You cannot do that when your energy says one thing and you're trying to say another. So your brain wants to put out there that, "Hey, come work with me. Hey, notice me." But then your energy that you put out is, "Hey, don't look at me. Hey, I'm not that good. I'm not that special." We have to work on changing your energy. We have to work on changing you. And that comes from changing your mindset. It comes from healing yourself. Your body remembers all the things that happened to you. So if you don't release those memories, if you don't heal the stuff, it's going to come out. It's going to. It can't stay down forever. It will come to the surface, and it manifests itself in many ways. And I'm telling you, one of the most common ways it manifests itself is in illnesses and diseases and injuries. When you keep the inner emotional stuff in you and you don't deal with it and you don't heal it, it's going to manifest in other ways. It manifests itself in your body physically. Again, either through illness, through disease, or even injuring yourself when you have a major injury. It's your body's way of getting your attention and saying, "Hey, you need to deal with this. This is still here." And whether you believe me or not, I'm telling you, I know people who have healed their illnesses by healing their inner emotional wounds. They're wounds, guys. And how do wounds show up? Physically in your body. And that's what's going to happen. So you have got to heal the stuff. And you've got to stop letting fear hold you back. Because a lot of that inner stuff was from fear. We did things in our lives that we're not proud of because we allowed fear to take over. Fear will cause you to do so many things, to think you're not good enough, or that something isn't going to work out, so you have to let it go, or whatever. So many different things fear can do. And I'm telling you, it's time to stop letting it take over. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have your dreams. And it's not going to happen if you're still dealing with fear. It's not going to happen. And I don't say that to be mean. I'm telling you, you've got to deal with it. You've got to. In whatever way you start, there's so many ways that you can work with me and then I can help you, or you can find other people who can help you, but you've got to deal with it. You can start by taking small steps. I understand if money is an issue, but I'm telling you, you're feeding into that lack mindset. You are. When you have the mindset of, I'm being taken care of and the universe is going to provide, it shows up for you. A mentor of mine talked about how she wanted to go on a retreat and she felt so broken in her life and she really needed the retreat, but she didn't have the money. And she just said to her spiritual team, I need this retreat. I need to go. And I feel like I need to be on it. Please provide the money for me. Please. And you don't even say provide the money, because I don't even think she said that. She just said, please allow me to go. I want to be there. Please help me get there. And a check showed up because she was a safe driver and her insurance paid her back or whatever. So that safe driving check showed up and it was the exact amount that she needed. And it won't always work out that way, but it could be that the universe brings you someone who wants to help you. Or you've got to get out of this, bring me free. We've got to get away from that. Okay? You've got to get away from that. That's a lack mindset. You can say, bring me what I can afford, or help me to afford, something like that, but stay away from the, I can't afford this. That I can't afford this is a lack mindset. It's going to keep you there, and it's going to keep you stuck with not being able to afford. You can afford anything if you are creative with your money and you know how to work things. And the thing is that when the universe sees your faith and trust that they're going to bring you what you need, they match that. And that's when we start manifesting, honestly. So don't allow fear to stop you from doing things. If you want to work with someone, if you want to make your life better, do it. It's worth the money. Whether it's working with me or anyone else, it's worth it. So say to yourself, what do I want to see in my life? And am I willing to invest in myself? I have my program, A Purposeful Pilgrimage, and that is one way. And it's not a huge cost. And there is a payment plan. And the stuff that you have there, it's yours to keep forever. And it's lessons you go through on your own. And the people who have signed up have all sent me messages saying that they were so glad they found it and it changed their lives. And it's there anytime you want to enroll in that. And again, I modeled it after the spiritual boot camp that I did, but it's not the same. It's different. But it's the same model in that it's a lesson each day for you to do at your own pace that you can revisit anytime. And I also have coaching sessions. You can work with me one-on-one. In a coaching session, I tailor it for exactly what you need. I sit and I meditate before I even meet with you. And I ask my guides and your guides what you need. And when we meet, I tell you what I get. And please don't ever be afraid of things coming out. I don't share your stories and I don't tell anyone else. There's a client confidentiality. And I've heard it all. So don't feel like, oh, I can't tell her. No. I am not going to judge anyone for anything in their lives. I know how messy life can be. And I've heard pretty much everything. So you're not going to shock me. I'm not going to judge you. I'm here to help you. I want to help you heal. So you can work with me one-on-one coaching. I can do Reiki for you. I can do a past life regression if you want to go back and see. Some people like to do past life regression just because they're like, what was I in a past life? But honestly, past life regression is great for going back to heal the stuff. We can see where our money stories came from, stories around relationships. Why are we blocking things? Or if you have fears, I did a past life regression for my niece. She was so afraid of heights, and we discovered that she died in a plane crash. And so that was why she was afraid of heights. And we were able to go in and say, okay, this was this life. We're not bringing that memory to this life. So we can heal things. Or you can sign up for mine and Heather's course, which if you're going to do that, you need to sign up by Friday. Our 10 slots are filling up, so you need to sign up. And it's, you're investing in yourself. You're investing in yourself. And if you do coaching, or if you sign up for mine and Heather's course and you have a business, that's a business write-off, because we can be coaching you around your business. Her course is talking about your finances, so it will be involving your business. So that's a business expense if you're taking this to help improve your business. Same thing with coaching. If you want coaching because you want to learn how to call in more soulmate clients to you, that's a business expense too, because you're helping build your business, and I can help you, just in a lot of ways. I've had a client who didn't have a website or anything or a Facebook page, and I helped her, showed her how to do that. So I can do that for you too. So it's working on the spiritual part, but also, if you have a business and you just want to know, how can I make this better? There's so many things I can help you with. But I want to thank you so much for trusting me to help you. But I just urge you to please, please move your feet. Don't just stand there and be stuck. You deserve to live the absolute best life possible. And being afraid and being small and being stuck, you're not gonna be able to do that. So please take that first step and invest in yourself in some way. I wanted to pull a card for you guys today, and what I pulled for you was from the Archangel Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue, and it's Overcoming Difficulties with Archangel Jeremiah. It says, the worst is now behind you, and you are surmounting any previous challenges. I love that. So if you've been having a difficult time, this is telling you that it's behind you now. You're moving forward and you're coming out of it. Just keep calling on your spiritual team. Keep calling on your team, okay? They are here to help you, and you can ask them for any kind of help. And you know what? Don't limit the way they can help you, okay? Don't say, make this person do X, Y, Z, okay? That's limiting. Be more open in the way you ask. If you're having a conflict with someone, it's please allow this conflict to resolve in a way that's for everyone's highest good. In that way, we're not limiting. Our small brains sometimes limit what the universe can do. Be more open-ended in your asking for help. Be more creative in your asking for help. You can ask, send the right person to me to help. I've had so many people contact me and say, I asked for help and I asked them to send me someone, and then I found you. That is no accident. Your team is answering your prayers. Your team is answering your prayers. They are sending you someone who can help you. So if they've sent you to me, it is not by accident. And I, every day, send love out to the people who need me and ask them to find me so that I can help. And I truly believe it's through my spiritual team. They're helping me find you, and you find me, and they're helping me heal you. So it's not an accident. We're all sent here for a purpose, for a reason. And in any way I can serve you, please allow me to do that. If you want to work with me and you just don't know what you need, contact me. You can call me, you can text me, you can email me, you can Facebook message me, you can message me on Instagram. absolutely any way you want to get a hold of me. And someone just sent me a message the other day. It was very sweet that the podcast episode that they listened to really helped them. Could they share it? Yes, you can. I've had people do that. Yes, you are more than welcome to share any podcast episode you want on your social media platforms if you want. Absolutely. I love that. Thank you for doing that. Yes. And thank you for asking, but yes, absolutely. Anytime you want to share my podcast on your social media, please do so, and thank you in advance. That is very, very sweet of you to want to help others find someone who can help them. And it's so awesome of you to want to get my name out there. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely, you can do that. So thank you for those of you who already have, and thank you to those of you who want to do that. Yes, I really appreciate that. I appreciate all of you. I love all of you. Thank you for being a part of my tribe. If you want to work with me, all of my contact information is in the description to this podcast. Just contact me. Don't hesitate. I hope that you will have a beautiful day. If you like this podcast, please subscribe to it. That helps people find me. Leave feedback. That also helps people find me, and I really appreciate that. And I appreciate the kind words you have all said. I appreciate that. And I want to thank you for being a part of my family. I am sending you guys massive love and light. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.